Sri Lanka is invoking wartime military powers just one day after Easter bombings at churches and luxury hotels massacred dozens of Christians. Nearly 300 are dead and 500 injured, including 4 Americans. One was a 5th grade boy who attended a prestigious school here in Washington. It's being called a well-coordinated terrorist attack by a Muslim jihadi group that may have had help from ISIS. We will be joined by phone with Sri Lanka's Cardinal Ranjith, who has visited one of the bombing sites. But first, correspondent Wyatt Goolsbee joins me with more from the Sri Lankan embassy in Washington. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. Authorities in Sri Lanka have already arrested 13 people in connection to the Easter bombings, but they say there will be more arrests likely soon. Tomorrow, the country will have a national day of mourning, and you'll notice the flag here at the embassy is at half-staff. World leaders are offering their condolences and their support to the people of Sri Lanka. That includes President Donald Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who called the Sri Lankan Prime Minister this morning. The president and the secretary vowed to help Sri Lanka bring the terrorists to justice.
Families are mourning loved ones who were lost in the Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka, the deadliest violence since the country's civil war ended a decade ago. This Catholic man still visibly upset from yesterday's bombing, praying just outside of St. Anthony's Shrine, one of the country's best-known Catholic churches, and one of 3 churches attacked by suicide bombers. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo reflecting on the devastation.
What was supposed to be a joyful Easter Sunday was marred by a horrific wave of Islamic radical terror, bloodshed.
Pompeo confirming some of the victims were American citizens. Authorities say a local jihadist group is to blame for Sunday's series of coordinated attacks across the island country, which is located near India in South Asia. The terrorists targeted 3 luxury hotels, apparently going after Christians celebrating Easter. Other targets included St. Sebastian's Catholic Church in the eastern part of the country and a Protestant Zion Church in the west. The Christian population in the Buddhist majority country is only about 7%, and most of those are Catholics. Celebrity chef Shantha Maya Dunn and her daughter were among those killed. Maya Dunn's daughter posted a picture of the family at an Easter breakfast just minutes before a bomb hit the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo.
E a tutta la Chiesa archidiocesana di Colombo.
Pope Francis says he's praying for the victims and wounded, asking the faithful in St. Peter's Square to pray to the Virgin Mary. The Sri Lankan government is vowing to wipe out terrorism, but some locals are disheartened after the country's health minister admitted they failed to heed multiple warnings earlier this month from international intelligence officials that radical terrorists were planning to attack churches on Easter Sunday.
Many are criticizing the Sri Lankan government for shutting down several major social media websites. The government said it wanted to stop the spread of false information. Today, the Knights of Columbus pledged to send $100,000 to the Catholic community in Sri Lanka to help rebuild and repair the churches. Lauren?
Those pictures were just devastating. Wyatt, thank you. Wyatt Goolsbee reporting from the Sri Lankan embassy in Washington.